मैं हूँ रश्मि चौधरी एंड वेलकम टू दिस वीडियो सीरीज। यहाँ हम कवर करेंगे नितिन सिंघानिया की आर्ट एंड कल्चर की फिफ्थ एडिशन जो कि लेटेस्ट एडिशन है। इस किताब को हम थॉरली रीड करेंगे, जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ेगी समझाएंगे भी, और साथ ही यूपीएससी और स्टेट पीएससीज में आए हुए प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे। इस सीरीज में एक वीडियो 30 से 35 मिनट्स की होगी, बट इफेक्टिव होगी। 40 से 45 लेक्चर्स में पूरी किताब कवर हो जाएगी। अगर आपने ये सीरीज 3 से 4 बार देख ली तो बिल्कुल ये किताब आपके दिमाग में छप जाएगी एंड योर एक्यूरेसी विल डेफिनेटली इंक्रीज। ऑल्सो आपका रिवीजन काफी आसान हो जाएगा। तो अगर आपको रिवीजन के साथ साथ वैल्यू एडिशन भी करना है तो ये सीरीज पूरी फॉलो करें। आपको बस अपने पास ये किताब रख कर मुझे सुनना है और इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स मार्क करने हैं। सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिले लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड।
हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल घटना सूत्र। यहाँ हम कवर कर रहे हैं नितिन सिंघानिया की आर्ट एंड कल्चर की फिफ्थ एडिशन की किताब जो कि लेटेस्ट एडिशन है। और हमने चैप्टर 14 विच इज अबाउट ट्राइबल कल्चर्स, उसका हमने ऑलमोस्ट चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर लिया था। वी आर लेफ्ट विद 4-5 पेजेस। सो लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद ट्राइबल रिलीजन। तो religion is a significant part of the tribal culture and its heritage. While many members of these tribes have adopted variants of Hinduism, Islam, or Christianity, a considerable number still adhere to their traditional tribal religions with a varying degree of syncretism. Animism and all forms of pagan worship are still prevalent in these communities. The festivals in these communities are also much of a delight to see with its colorful and joyous celebrations. A lot of tribal population in India is still backward. They lack education and literacy policies, and yet to dawn in a few rural and tribal areas of the Indian subcontinent. Tribal community of Himachal Pradesh has predominantly adopted the religion of Islam. In some instances, tribal religion has influenced mainstream religious practices. The festival of light, Diwali, has also been adopted by Hindus, which was originally believed to be the festival of aborigines. It is also believed that the Hindu religion borrowed the worship of Lord Shiva and Parvati from the Adivasis of Gujarat. However, it is observed that Christianity has brought about the change that can be termed a total transformation in tribal lifestyle and outlook, especially in the northeastern states of India. The largest and the best known tribal religion of India is Sari Dharam of the Santhal tribes residing in Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, and neighboring regions. The Santhals and other Indian tribes practice, profess, and propagate their own traditional tribal religions since time immemorial. They have their own gods and goddesses who do not belong to Hindu pantheon and or any other Indo-Aryan pantheon, and separate places of worship which is completely different from other Indo-Aryan religions. Sarna religion is the religion of the Munda and the Orao tribes. So these terms can be asked. So this becomes important. Some folk religions prevalent in India are mentioned below. सबसे पहले है animism. It is the worldwide worldview that non-human entities, animals, plants, and inanimate objects or phenomena possess a spiritual essence. The Encyclopedia of Religion and Society estimates that 1 to 5% of India's population is animist. Ahom religion. It is the ethnic group of Ahom people. The religion is based on ritual oriented ancestor worship that requires animal sacrifice. अगर हम अहोम रिवोल्ट की बात करें तो इट टुक प्लेस इन 1828, और ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 2018 में पूछा जा चुका है। एंड द क्रोनोलॉजी ऑफ दीज रिवोल्ट्स बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। हमने सांथाल रिवोल्ट के भी बारे में पढ़ा थोड़ी देर पहले। So these becomes very important. These become very important from the exam perspective. Bethoism, Bethoism, or Betho. It is the folk religion of the Boro people of Assam in the northeast India. The name Betho in Boro means five principles. Ba means five and Tho means deep. These five principles are Bat, air, or, fire, ha, earth, Dwi, water, and Okrang, ether. The chief deity called Betho Rai is considered the supreme god and is said to have created the five principles. Next is Donye Polo or Donai Poloism. It is the indigenous religion of animistic and shamanic type of Tibeto-Burman people of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam in the northeast India. The name Donoi Polo means sun, moon, Donoi, sun, and Polo, Doni, sun, and Polo, moon, which are respectively female and male in the Tibeto-Burman tradition. The Donye Poloism has been there since time immemorial. Next is Kirat Mandam, also known as Kiratism, is an animistic folk religion that is indigenous to the Kirati ethnic groups of Nepal, Darjeeling, and Sikkim, majorly practiced by Yakha, Limbu, Sunuar, Rai, Thami, Jiral, Hayu, Surel, and Surel people in the northeastern Indian subcontinent. The practice is known as Kirat Veda. Next is Sanamahism or Meithism or Lanning Thoism. It is an ethnic religion of the Meitei people, mainly from the state of Manipur in the northeast India. So, Meitei associated with Manipur. It is a polytheistic religion and is named after God Leaning Tho Sana Mahi, one of the most important deities of the Meitei faith. Next is Sarnaism. It is an Indian religion, a religious belief in the eastern region of the subcontinent. The belief is based on worship at Sarna, the sacred groups in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region in the state of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. According to the local belief, a gram deity or village deity resides in the Sarna, which where sacrifice is offered twice a year. Their belief system is alternatively known as Dharma or religion of the holy woods. Next, we'll start with tribal art. So, tribal art forms are important ingredients of the diverse cultural heritage of the Indian tribal culture due to their uh, ethis- aesthetic mastery and richness in the traditional art preserved through generations. The art forms range from design and painting to handicrafts made of bamboo, wood, and metal. Some notable and unique tribal art forms from India are as follows. सबसे पहले है वर्ली पेंटिंग. This indigenous tribal art of Maharashtra is well known for its simple wall paintings. On a background of dark red, these paintings are carved in white with a bamboo brush. Worldly art design uses basic geometrical shapes, including the square, circle, and triangle featuring incidents from everyday life, including dancing, fishing, farming, and festivals. These artworks are strikingly similar to the murals of Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh. Next is Bhil art. The Bhils are India's second largest tribal group who live in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. Traditionally, the clay walls of the Bhil people's hamlet homes are decorated with lovely pictures while using natural dyes. These pictures are generally painted with neem sticks and other twigs. यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है ये है वर्ली पेंटिंग और ये है भील आर्ट. तो कहाँ से एसोसिएटेड है वर्ली पेंटिंग? महाराष्ट्र से और भील आर्ट राजस्थान से. नेक्स्ट वी विल टॉक अबाउट गोंद आर्ट. द वर्ड गोंद comes from the Dravidian word Gond, which means green mountain. Gond paintings are done by Gond tribe of Mandla, Madhya Pradesh. These paintings are done to decorate the walls and floors of the house by tribal communities. One distinct feature of these paintings is the use of dashes, dots, and vibrant colors. The paintings are created with the use of dots, which are placed one over the other in an upward fashion to create the desired image. The colors used in the paintings are obtained using natural ingredients like charcoal, colored soil, plant sap, leaves, etc. The theme of the paintings is mostly drawn from the folk tales and Gond mythology. Next is Pithora paintings. These are paintings created by Bhilala and Rathwa tribes who are inhabitants of central Gujarat. पिथोरा पेंटिंग्स के बारे में क्वेश्चन छत्तीसगढ़ पीसीएस 2020 में ही अभी हाल फिलहाल में ही पूछा गया है कि किस ट्राइब से एसोसिएटेड है, ये कहाँ की ट्राइब से एसोसिएटेड है. तो दीज आर एसोसिएटेड विद द ट्राइब्स ऑफ गुजरात. They originated from the mural traditions of the ancient tribes. The major themes of the paintings are gods and goddesses with some appearances of nature and agriculture. The primary god depicted in these paintings is Prithora, Dev. These paintings are usually drawn on the wall through a procedure known as lipna, which includes spreading two layers of cow dung and a single layer of chalk powder on it. Next is part painting. It is primarily a religious style of scroll painting practiced in Rajasthan. तो कहाँ से associated है ये? राजस्थान से. These are painted on canvas or fabric called fard and feature the folk gods Babuji or Devnarayan. The gum and the burnished surface are the main reasons for the longevity and vibrancy of art paintings. The style uses a flat perspective and bright colors. Next is traditional jewelry of tribes from Odisha like Bonda, Kond, Saura, Gardaba, etc. Tribes usually adorn themselves with many brasses or aluminium rings piled on top of each other around their necks, as well as gorgeous glass bead necklaces. These represent intricately crafted metal ornaments showcasing the skill of people in the metalwork. Next is Irula snake art. This is a unique art made from naturally molded snake skins by Irula snake catchers of Tamil Nadu, reflecting their intimate connection with nature. Next is Kurava wood carving. Elaborate wood carvings on furniture and decorative items made by the people of Kurava tribe of Kerala, showcasing their craftsmanship. Next is preserving tribal culture. The intangible cultural heritage of Indian tribes is the epitome of the traditional knowledge system, which contains many positive and productive elements which are really invaluable for the entire humanity. These elements of intangible heritage face serious threats of existence due to modernization in the society and rapid change in way of life across the country. Thus, coordinated efforts are required to preserve the traditional culture within the successive generations of tribal population. Some noteworthy initiatives by government in the field of preservation of tribal cultural heritage are Sankalp Se Siddhi initiative. This is an initiative of the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Government of India, launched in 2021 and implemented by Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India, TriFed. This scheme, also known as Mission One Dhan, is aimed to establish a sustainable livelihood for India's tribal population through establishment of several One Dhan Vikas Kendras, Haat Bazaars, mini tri-food units, common facility centers, tri-food parks, Tribes India retail store for promoting Indian brands of work done by tribal artisans. Development of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs. The scheme covers activities for them like housing, land distribution, land development, agricultural development, animal husbandry, construction of link roads, etc. Support of tribal research institutes, TRIs, and tribal festivals through proper research are raising awareness among masses. एक क्वेश्चन जो कि सीएससी मेंस 2021 में आया हुआ है. It was like examine the uniqueness of tribal knowledge system when compared with mainstream knowledge and cultural systems. तो इस क्वेश्चन को आप इस चैप्टर के थ्रू अटेंड कर सकते हैं पूरा एक प्रॉपर क्रोनोलॉजी में. सो दिस मस्ट बी नोटेड हियर कि ये इससे रिलेटेड है. Special Development Councils SDC's model of Odisha. In a significant move towards preserving, promoting, and popularizing tribal culture, the Odisha government launched the Special Development Councils SDC's initiative in 2017. This is an active effort to preserve the culture and heritage of 62 tribes in the state under one umbrella while keeping economic development on course in the regions. The scheme covers 23 districts and more than 84 lakh tribal people. SDC's model, in this model, important cultural markers that are a reflection of tribal identity are identified and promoted. Language is recognized as an important marker of culture. As Odisha is a land of over 22 diverse tribal languages, the focus is on the use and propagation of these languages. Over 21 tribal proficiency centers have been established. These have modules to educate uh, frontline workers like ASHA workers and non-Odia speakers about tribal culture and dialect. More than 4,500 sacred groves that were close to vanishing from the village landscape are now being conserved. These groves hold immense cultural and conservational value for the tribal population as they are considered to be inhabited by the gods. Resource extraction in these groves are strictly prohibited. More than 4,730 sacred groves are under protection in 9 districts, and 1,609 tribal cultural clubs have been set up. Sorry, artisan ID cards have been issued to over 40,000 tribal artisans. The initiative not only preserves culture but also enables employment opportunities. To ensure an efficient transfer of knowledge, more than 50 tribal resource centers have been constructed in Sundargarh district. More are coming up in the remaining districts. The SDC model also helps to preserve the culture and tradition of small tribal groups by giving them a role in decision-making processes. Thus, it takes care of the intra-tribal majoritarianism. This is based on 5T: transparency, technology, teamwork, time limit, leading to transformation. Driven development model through which the vision of inclusive growth and community-led development has been an actionable strategy for Odisha. तो ये ओडिशा मॉडल था for special development councils. And with this, we have completed our chapter 14, which was about tribal cultures. We'll start with our chapter 15, which is about trade, traders, and cultural exchange. So let's start with this chapter. Introduction. There has been a very close relationship between trade routes, culture, and politics. Though the ancient Indian literature has little work like Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, सबसे पहले तो इससे related question आया हुआ है कि इसका writer कौन है. So we don't know about the actual writer of this book. So the writer is anonymous. So BPSC 2018 में ये question आया हुआ है. But it was translated by William H. Scoff. ये question भी आ सकता है, तो don't get confused. ये इसके writer नहीं है. He is the translator of this book. Some ancient land and sea trade routes. Some ancient Indian texts like Mahanidesa and Arthashastra. अब अर्थशास्त्र किसने लिखा है? It is written by Kautilya, also known as चाणक्य. ये आया हुआ है यूपीपीसीएस 1992 में क्वेश्चन, एंड इट इज अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स. ये बुक पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजीज पे है. So Arthashastra inform about commercial activities, ancient land and sea trade routes. The establishment of the Roman Empire opened the Red Sea route. The archaeological finds from the ancient Indian ports throw significant light on burgeoning burgeoning trade between India and the Roman Empire. A major reason for the war between the Satavahanas and the Sakas was the control of trade route with the Roman Empire. One of the reasons behind Rajendra Chola's naval expedition to the Suvarna Bhumi was trade. So trade has always been important. वो important चीज है. पैसे की जरूरत हर किंगडम को है, तो हर कोई ट्रेड करना ही चाहेगा. Mineral resources, agricultural growth, and surplus in the hinterland led the rulers to give importance to the commerce and overseas trade and develop commodity production and exchange. Brisk trade activities were necessary precondition for urban growth. According to Keralol Pathi, there was there were several Brahmin settlements which spread across South India. This led to the proliferation of agriculture, better technological devices, and managerial strategies facilitated the growth of cultivation and introduction of a variety of crops. The proliferation of land management and farming necessitated the exchange of products in the marketplaces. It led to the production of other non-agrarian products to be exchanged in the market, which accelerated commercial activities. We have numerous archaeological, epigraphic, and literary evidences which elaborate on the commercial contacts between Roman world and the South India. Since the reign of Bahram V, AD 420 to 39, Arabs began to enjoy swift trade activities in the western parts of Indian Ocean. Craigellor or Kodungallur was considered a crucial center of Roman trade next to Baruch of Gujarat. Both were situated on the western coast of India during the visit of the author of Periplus. The Sangam literature affirmed the trade carried out by Yavanas. Kollam was one of the most famous trading centers of the Malabar coast. Trade guilds, mercantile associations, and organizational aspect of trade also gained prominence to address the issues associated with professional commercial activities. Now let's talk about prehistoric to Vedic period. Proto-historic to Vedic period. Nomadic men wandered to find pasturage for their cattle. In the beginning, commercial activities were limited, but with the enhancement of geographical knowledge, the civilization marched forward and trade activities began to grow. To overcome the difficulties of long-term trade routes, caravans became the means to carry merchandise. Traces of several fertile regions have been found in Koch Diji and Quetta before the commencement of the Indus Valley civilization. The dock excavated at Lothal is the one of the oldest man-made docks to receive ships. अब ये क्वेश्चन कि लोथल में क्या मिलता है, एक डॉकयार्ड या फिर डॉक मिलता है, ये सीएससी 2002, 1998, यूपीपीसीएस 2004, 2008, 2017, बीपीएससी 2011 सब में पूछा गया है. तो दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. जितनी बार हाईलाइट करे कम है. याद रखे, बस कैसे भी याद रखे, बस याद रखे. Both Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were commercial cities, and many small ports, markets, and cities existed to support the commercial activities of those big cities. Evidence of trade activities with India has been found in old Babylonian inscriptions. Three types of boats have been found from the excavations of Lothal. The other ports of the Indus Valley civilization included Todio, Amra, and Lakhpawal. अब यहाँ पे पढ़ के आपको लगेगा इसका क्या ही इम्पोर्टेंस है, लेकिन आप याद रखो क्वेश्चंस ऐसे भी आते हैं कि इनमें से कौन सी इंडस वैली की साइट नहीं है, आईवीसी की साइट्स नहीं है. तो अगर आपको इन सब का नाम दे दिया गया तो आपको फिर पता रहेगा कि हाँ ये है, ये पोर्ट्स थे उसके, तो आपके दिमाग में ये सब रहेगा. तो इंटरलिंक करके पढ़ना काफी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. There were specialized groups of artisans. The manufacture of beads was concentrated in Chanudaro and Lothal. The main imported items were precious metal, copper, and semi-precious stones. Lapis lazuli was imported from Afghanistan, Shurtogai, and Badakhshan province. Turquoise was imported from Persia, and amethyst from Maharashtra. The main exported items were agricultural products, wheat and oilseeds. Exchanges were carried out through barter system. In Rig Vedic period, trade was practiced on a limited scale and barter system prevailed. Cows served as a medium of exchange. Trade increased in later Vedic period. Other types of medium of exchange were Nishka. निष्का को कभी कभी निष्का भी लिख दिया जाता है, और निष्का से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन सीएससी 1998 में आया था जिसमें पूछा गया था टर्म से रिलेटेड कि ये क्या है. तो दिस इज रिलेटेड टू कॉइन. Hiranyapinda and Manas. Later Samhitas affirmed that sea trade was carried on by boats. Many technical terms regarding navigation are emphasized in the Rig Veda and Vaja Sanei Samhita. Age of Mahajanpads. During this period, when Buddha and Mahavira raised their voices against the Vedic religion, India was divided into 16 Mahajanpads and they constantly waged wars against each other. अभी 16 Mahajanpads and their capitals are extremely important, जो हमने पढ़ भी रखा है. Ajat Shatru was very powerful and Magad became the mightiest empire. उदयी भद्रा सन ऑफ अजात शत्रु इन्हीं को हम उदायीन भी बोलते हैं जिन्होंने कैपिटल शिफ्ट किया था फ्रॉम राजगृह टू पाटलिपुत्र. तो ये इनसे रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन आपको याद रखना होगा. लेड द फाउंडेशन ऑफ पाटलिपुत्र. The city became a great center of politics, commerce, and trade. The reasons behind the constant warfare between different Mahajanpads were political, and economic. We get different depictions of commerce, economic activities, trade, roots from Jataka stories, Pali literature, and even from the account of Panini. Tanks and wells. Tanks and wells were available on the sides of roads for the comfort of the travelers. Ferries were available on the rivers. In spite of many difficulties, the caravan leaders carried out long distance trade inland and abroad. They carried Indian culture and adventurous spirit abroad. Sometimes Bodhisattva acted as the master of the caravan. Indian merchants interacted with the foreign traders at the seaports and both sold their articles. Many sea voyages and difficulties of Indian sailors are depicted in the Jataka stories. According to Jataka, Bharukach and Sopara were chief western ports on the western coast. कहाँ था ये? गुजरात में. Gambhira and Siriva ports were situated on the eastern coast. Varanasi was famous for silk and the main exported items were cotton textiles. Another crucial item for external and internal trade was sandalwood, chandan. Next is modern period. The well-developed agrarian economy had given a solid economic base to the modern empire. The expansion of commercial economy enabled them to extend its resource base to other parts of the country. The grand route of India underwent many changes from the 4th century BC to 4th century BC due to the development of the organization of the empire. अब ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एसोसिएटेड विद ट्रेड एंड ट्रेड रूट्स की अगर हम बात करें तो the Jataka stories have mentioned the caravan traders carrying large quantities of merchandise to different parts of the country. Security was provided by the modern rule. Many important trade routes to West and Central Asia passed through Northwest India. They were along with the rivers Ganga and Himalayan foothills. Major centers were Rajgriha in Magad and Kausambi नियर द प्रेजेंट डे इलाहाबाद. अब राजगृह मगध क्या है? ये एक ये जो था वो इनिशियल कैपिटल ऑफ मगध था. ये बीपीएससी 2005 में क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है एंड दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेम्बर. Kausambi near present-day Allahabad, Patliputra, the capital of Mauryas, was situated in a strategic location. तो राजगृह के बाद कैपिटल कहाँ इन्होंने शिफ्ट किया था? पाटलिपुत्र में. ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा चुका है. And was connected by rivers and roads in all directions. The northern route going through Shravasti and Kapilavastu were connected through Vaisali. The eastern route turned southwards to reach Andhra and Karnataka. The eastern route connected Tamra-Lipti, which acted as an exit point for the south and southeast. तो ये क्या था? इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन आया हुआ था CSC 1999 एंड यूपीपीसीएस 2014 में, जिसमें बोला गया कि this site handled North Indian trade route in Gupta period. So trade in Gupta period. So this is important to note. From Kausambi, another route led westwards to Ujjain. This route connected to the coast of Gujarat or west-south across the Narmada, and it was regarded as Dakshin Path. In the North India, craft production was organized primarily on the Guild Shreni lines. Megasthenes had mentioned a superintendent of commerce, which is also mentioned in Arthashastra as Pandit पांड्य पाण्य अध्यक्ष। ठीक है, तो ये जो टर्म है ये किससे रिलेटेड है? सुपरिंटेंडेंट ऑफ कॉमर्स। ये टर्मिनोलॉजीज एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं और ये जा सकता है पूछा, अभी तक गया नहीं है पूछा, लेकिन ये पूछा जा सकता है। हिज ड्यूटी वाज टू फिक्स द prices of goods and to interfere if there was a surplus in any commodity. The duty of the office of Samast Adhyaksh was to check the wrong practices of the traders. The superintendent of mines was called uh, Akar Adhyaksh, and the officer in charge of agriculture were Sita Adhyaksh. तो एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड कि ऑफिसर इंचार्ज ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर कौन है, तो वो सीता अध्यक्ष है। ये आरएएस, राजस्थान एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज 2020 में पूछा गया क्वेश्चन है। पौटवाद अध्यक्ष, हाँ पौटव अध्यक्ष was superintendent of weights and measures। ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 2020 में पूछा गया है, तो दिस becomes very important। Terminology is extremely important है when you are reading about medieval India and ancient India। Patliputra was administered by 6 boards, each with 5 members। They were designated as the Astinomois। Kahapana, Karshpana was a widely used coin series, often silver. Sita lands were the lands owned. Sita lands were the lands owned, controlled by the king, directly by the king। तो ये क्वेश्चन कि सीता क्या है, ये क्वेश्चन यूपीपीसीएस 2013 में पूछा गया है, तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। देयर वाज brisk sea trade during the later half of the Mauryan period. Mauryan rulers were also engaged in the shipbuilding business and hired ships for commercial purposes. Goods, ideas, and cultural traits were moved via sea routes. Trade has been the linchpin of prosperity for various Mauryan rulers. Kautilya in Arthashastra highlighted how the sea and river routes were cheaper than the land routes. According to Arthashastra, Dronamukh was a village where the sea and the land trade routes met and the toll was collected. Next is Hemavat. Hemavat Marg was the route from Balkh to India via Hindu Kush. It was used for trade in woolen clothes, horses, hides, and furs. The Dakshin Path was used for trade in other items like diamond, precious stones, and pearls। Merchandise की अगर हम बात करें तो according to अर्थशास्त्र many precious and semi-precious stones were traded from different places of India and from foreign countries। Kerala coast was also famous for pearl trade। Sri Lanka was famous for its precious stones। Ruby and spinel ruby was imported from Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and Burma। The Vindhyan Hills and Kerala produced crystal। Sapphire and amethyst was imported from Sri Lanka. Good quality diamonds came from Sabarashtra, Berar. Coral Alakandaka was imported from Alexandria. According to Arthashastra, there was a great demand for aromatics. Many kinds of sandalwood were traded from South India, Java, and Sumatra. The horses traded in the middle country came from Kamboja, Tajikistan, Sindh। Next is Gupta period. So we'll start this topic in the next lecture. Till then, keep watching Ghatna Sutra and keep learning. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye.